Hello, crafty family. I am going to show you, well, Tigger. Finally, I was asked several times to do a room tour, and I'm just gonna do it. My room's kind of cleaned up, except for my desk, which is not my craft desk, my other desk. So don't mind that; it is a mess. But otherwise, we'll just get started, and I'll show you my room that I love. That I moved from a much smaller room into this much bigger room. So anyway, I've got napkins on top of there, but this is a plastic, one of those plastic, actually two of them together, I believe. I think there's two stacked on top of each other. Plastic drawers with stuff in it, napkins, old stuff, blah, blah, blah. That's that. I'm not going to go through every detail of everything because I'd be here for days and I'm just not going to do it. That's my cabinet, and I put chalk paint on it, and I write messages about Tigger every week, and this week Tigger is a blanket thief. Anyway, to the right when you walk in the room, I've got my jewelry stuff. There's my vision board that we made in our Patreon class. And that's my jewelry stuff. And there's my little skull. That's Fred. Hi, Fred. And then I've got bins in these cubbies that have like fabric and all kinds of stuff in it. And then to the immediate other side, that's where we walked in and I saw that plastic bin. There's the door. This is the wall. It's like the back of when you walk in. I kind of made this wall, this little alleyway, and this is the back of it. These are my unicorn lights. I made this wall over here so that I'd have things near me at my desk. Anyway, so there's some more cubbies and cubbies. This is not the best video, I apologize, but stuff, more stuff, ribbons on top of there. A cabinet has junk in it. This has junk in it. It has like glitter paint, and there's like a can of stuff, and there's an extra glue stick, and there's just stuff. I just, I know where everything is. I have it organized a certain way, but everybody has to organize things their own way. Anyway, jewelry stuff. And then comes my closet. And on the closet door, I keep, this is a bunch of old jewelry of mine and stuff that I keep. And when I don't want to use it anymore, I don't want to wear it, I keep it so that I can break pieces off of it and use it in different things. And then here's this closet. This is what I call my paper closet, because it's mostly got all paper products in it. Things I've gotten mostly from the Creative Reuse, and then some cardstock and some loose scrapbook paper. Up on the shelf, there's magazines and books and all kinds of things that a lot of it I've had for a long time. There's another cubby back there. There's a dresser. All that stuff's like my recycled stuff. There's like boxes and junk mail and all that stuff, all in those drawers and all in those cubbies. And behind the door, there's a shelf here, and that has just supplies and junk. And then these are all my vintage books and such. And then down here, there's just extra things, and there's scrap of paper, and there's things. There's just a lot of crap in there. So then, moving right along, we get to one of my favorite areas of the room, and that is where my pretty stuff is. I've got my Monster High doll, the two mugs that Katie gave me that says do what you love and love what you do. And those cute little vintage pictures, and one they've got a poodle. The little girl has a poodle. It's like supposed to be like, I guess, Holly Hobby or whatever. And then this mug from Cracker Barrel. And my vintage poodle. See, that's a poodle. My vintage poodle 70s or 60s glass thing. My elephant from the Creative Reuse. My mermaid from Miss Sharon, who, I don't know if she realized it, but I didn't realize it at first, but she's missing an arm, so she's an amputee mermaid. We still love her. She's just missing an arm. And then this here, I got from the same places I got those from. And then here, this is like an LED bulb in this light thing. It used to change color, but now it just stays one color, and you can barely see it. So there it is. But it's cool. My diffuser, my rocks and crystals are in here. All different kinds of things. I think I just dropped one on the floor. I'll find it. And then I've got more crystals in that thing back there. This container just has a bunch of random junk in it. And then there's my corner cabinet, which has my poodle head from Dana and a bottle and just all kinds of stuff. Stuff that was handmade for me. I keep on these shelves mostly. I just keep a lot of stuff. I have a lot of little things that I like to keep. And there's my photo, or not my photo, drawing of me. And paintbrushes that I want to alter that are like old and cool looking. My peacock feathers I got in Happy Mail that I love. My mug from Janie. Just junk. And there's my Tigger. Picture of Tigger. And then down here, more stuff. Stuff and stuff and stuff. And then in the bottom cabinet down there, I keep, like, whenever anybody makes me a journal or a flip book or something like that, I put it in that cabinet down there. Here's my recliner. This is where, well, actually, it's not my recliner. It's Tigger's recliner. And that's his blanket that his Aunt Kendra made him. This is a mermaid blanket, a mermaid tail blanket from Janet, which Tigger always tries to snatch. And then this one's the one from Sharon. So I've got 2 mermaid tail blankets. I love them. And then this is where the mess becomes, because this is my desk and it's a mess and I was eating lunch earlier. So yeah, that part I'm still in the process of getting straightened out. It's actually better than it was, believe it or not. That shelf's not so bad. I got stuff on that shelf and going all the way up. I have stuff and my voice is going already. I was watching a video from Mrs. Elizabeth. Anywho, whatsoever, then moving right along, this is my sliding glass door out to my deck, which I don't go out there really, so, I'd like to finish painting out there because the floor of the deck, as you'll see, I don't know if you can see, the railings are painted, but you can kind of see, well, there's leaves out there, but the floor of the deck never got painted because I got sick, and that's when all that stuff kind of halted. Anyway, I have this car. This is where my Christmas tree was, my pink Christmas tree. Took it down yesterday. Dang it. Why can't I speak? Took it down and put the cart back because I had this there before. And I put this thing on it. It was an old shelf from a unit, one of those like TV units or whatever from a while ago. I stuck it up there so I'd have a little space. And then these drawers pull out. And yeah. So that's that. And that's from Secret she made me. Mermaid. So anyway, there's that. And there's my poodle from Cheryl. And there's the poodle that I made, which I haven't put these up in my Etsy shop yet. I don't think they really look like Christmas balls, but I could still put them in my Etsy, I'm sure. Anywho, moving right along, there's my iron, like a wrought iron kind of dress form thing. And I have all kinds of stuff hanging from that. Some things that people gave me, other things that I just made or have or took. Like when I took all the poodles off my tree, I hung them up and stuff because I just really like them. And yeah, and there's an old antique sewing box that I got from my client before she died. And then my Cricut, my glass table. This is a decal thing. It's like a cling, like a window cling. I stuck it there because originally, well, first I'll show you this. The curtain. This is the prettiest part of the room, I think, is this little area here. I loves it. I've got underneath of the glass, I've got Day of the Dead fabric, or Dog of the Dead, I should say. This is an antique bowl, and it has like an iridescent quality to it that you can't tell, but I love it. And I have just stuff in there. My cutting mat, and then this shelf, and a bunch of jars on it, and some lights, and that's where I had the skull. I tried to put it there because these are actually stickers. That skull's a decal, and it wouldn't stay, obviously, because that's a painted wall, and it needs like glass or something smooth to stick to. So then my sewing machine, which I kind of had to rig a space for it to be at, but that's okay. That dresser's got like lace and stuff in it. Then I've got like up here in this little shelf, this is like a little shelf thing. I've got this basket, and this has got my steel rule dies. Then I've got stickers up there. This is the doorway to my bathroom, which is a mess. And then over here I've got stickers, and I've got more stuff here, my pegboard's there. I've got more stuff here. This table here, which is basically just a plastic folding table, like a heavy duty one, but a plastic folding table. Eventually I want to put a different table there that I'm going to make out of an old door, but for now, that'll do. And I just recently put that tablecloth on it because if somebody comes over to create and like craft with me, I'm taking my sweater off and getting a drink again because my mouth is getting dry already. If somebody comes over and creates, obviously I'll move that tablecloth, but for now, I don't really create with anything dirty over there. I just do like die cutting or like cutting paper. Like I'll get my paper cutter out because my one trimmer's under there. And like, you know, stuff like that. It's really kind of just a catch-all, especially if I'm filming videos and I need to move stuff out of the way. That's where it'll be. The shelves above it, I am in love with shoeboxes. I love the plastic shoeboxes. They're great for storing. They stack on top of each other really well. I have tons of them and I love them. So that's what I use a lot of. I also love these for storage. These little things with the drawers in them. They're fabulous. Love them. And then here's where I create. Right there. There's my chair. And I look at that screen and that's where I see my camera view. And whenever we're doing live streams, I'm able to see my chat. And I've got all kinds of junk there. And of course the light's not on, so it's harder to see. I have another light up there that's not on. We'll turn it on. But there's my mermaid journal that I was working on. It's messy right now because I'm still figuring things out, but I've got just shelves and things and stuff. Because I keep all little doodads. Like this whole thing here is like filled with stuff that people have given me. Like that whole thing. And at first I used to hoard the things that people gave me. And if you remember from videos from a year or two ago, people would give me stuff. I put it in these plastic containers and I had them on a shelf and I would say, oh, you know, I don't like to use it because I feel like, you know, they gave it to me and it's almost like I get a weird connection to things. So, but I had to put a stop to that because, so like, I think it was like 6 or 8 months ago, I had moved it all into that little container or that little thing with the drawers in it, right there. And I said, you know what, I need to use this stuff because it's not doing any good sitting here. And the people that gave it to me, they intended for me to use it, not for it to sit here. And so I started using it. So I use much more things that people give me than I used to. And a lot of times because I would just get this weird connection to it. Even though like after a month I forgot who gave me what, it didn't matter. I just knew that somebody who cared about me and liked watching my channel gave it to me and I should keep it and I shouldn't use it on things. Like I just weird. I don't know why I was like that, but I had to kind of put a stop to that and start using things because, you know, it was just crazy to have it sitting there and not use it and just look at it every now and again, which is what I did, which was just weird. I don't know. So I kind of snapped out of it and I was like, no, I'm going to start using it. And so now I use a lot of that stuff. I use a lot of the things that people give me now. Anyway, so going right along, this is that wall of stuff that you saw when you first walked in, you saw the back of. Because on the other side of that wall is where those cubbies were and my jewelry stuff and everything. So this is that wall I made out of storage containers, really. It's just a mishmash of storage unit things and drawers and cubbies and plastic things and whatever. And I love it because it's got all the things I need when I'm creating to keep near me. And I always tell people that when you're organizing your craft stuff to keep the stuff near you that is, you know, the stuff that you use the most is important. Now, you don't have to keep all that with you. The only reason I have so much near my desk like that is because I film videos and I do live streams and I don't want to have to walk anywhere else in my room to get things as much as possible, even though my paper's in another area, but I like to keep as much as possible near me because of the fact that I film videos and I don't want to have to keep getting up or stopping the film or annoying people by saying, hold on, I have to go get something. I try not to do that as much as I can. And so therefore, that's why I have so much, but you won't need that much. But what you should keep what you use the most near you. It's kind of, you know, it'll be helpful to your crafting. I'm going to sit in my chair for a second and show you that under my desk I also have a lot of shoe boxes again. Shoe boxes behind the keyboard. Excuse you, sir. He says, I'm ready for my close-up. I didn't sit down here to play with you. Thank you for the kisses. Okay. Anyway, behind the keyboard and the cutter and behind the garbage can, there's lots more shoe boxes. I even have a shoe box stuck in there like that has my stencils in it. Some of them back there, have like my wood stamps that I don't really use as much anymore. I probably would use them more if I had a better place for them, but I can just yank out the boxes as I need them. It's not a big deal. I keep a jug of water under my desk. I just have a lot of stuff under my desk. I have my glue guns sitting on that thing there. Yeah. But I keep things near my desk. I keep a lot more near my desk than I would probably do if I didn't film videos. But because I film videos, I feel the need to keep things by my desk pretty often. Or pretty much everything at my desk. So then behind my desk is my cubbies, or my carts with my paint. So this is all my paint in it. A lot of it's from Deco Art. Dang it. A lot of it's from Deco Art. Because I was, I'm in the Helping Artist program, which I haven't really done anything with that lately, but I am in the Helping Artist program, so they sent me a buttload of stuff, and then I've got, like, sprays in the top, and my tube paints, and just stuff. Plus, I have a lot of paint, because a lot of this paint is from also when I used to teach classes. I would just load up all my craft paint, and I had a lot of it because I needed to have enough to allow people to, if I was teaching 15 people, I didn't want to have just one thing of like blue paint. There had to be, several, so that we weren't all passing around the same paint. So I'll give you a view of my room from like this corner over here to show you. So that give you an idea. And then I have these things here, that cubby. It's like a footrest. No. I don't know what the hell they're called. They're cubes, and you can open the top. And I had them at the base of my bed when my bedroom was in this room. And before my bedroom was like pink themed, it was safari themed. This was years ago when I was with Chris. So we had 3 of those at the foot of our bed as like a little bench, and you could sit on them. And so I have them in here because I have them filled with things. I have 2 more here, one in the front and then one behind it. And you could pull them out and sit on them. They're actually really comfortable. So let me go over here, and I'll give you the angle from this side. Don't mind my carpet. This carpet is like as old as the house, and it's not the best, so it could be better. But who's got the money to replace carpet? Not me. I eventually would love to put a like wood floor in here. Would love it. But that'll never happen, I'm sure. And I don't care. It's just something I'd love to do. And this is like the walkway in, and that's like the wall of doom, I call it. It's very sturdy. It may look like it's going to fall over, but everything's stacked up, and like I'm pushing on this, it's not moving. So everything's stacked up. It's just like having furniture just stacked up in that way. But anyway, like I was saying about organization, my room to you might look, oh, well, it's not organized. Things are all over the place, but actually it is. It's organized for my needs. And see, that's the thing that you need to remember when you're organizing your space, is that you have to organize your space for your needs. I'm trying to sit comfortably in my chair because I need a drink. So, you may not organize yours the same way as I organize mine. But everybody should get their stuff organized. It'll make it easier for you to create. If you've been creating more than a year or so, you basically know what you use and what you need to keep near you. What do you reach for the most? That's what you should have near you. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, when we do mixed media mashup, you got the prompt cards. They're in the files, in the group. You can look at those things and be like, okay, I use those things at least once a week in mixed media mashup, and you probably use them more than once a week. So you should have those things at the very basics. You should have those things near you, plus your tools like your scissors and your heat gun and whatever. But that should be a good guide of what you should keep near you, because that's the stuff that you're probably going to use the most of. Because I hear people say all the time about mix media mashup, I have to keep going and getting stuff. Well, it might be beneficial to rearrange your craft area so that you have those things near you. Now, if you have so much stuff, because I remember there was somebody that I knew that had so much stuff that it had to be stored and boxed up and contained or whatever, and in different places of the room or the house or whatever, because they had so much that they couldn't possibly put all the stuff they use near them. And first of all, that's a problem. That's a problem in many ways, because that's like, if you're spending that much money and you're buying that much stuff, then you're not creating nearly enough, because you're spending too much time collecting than you are creating. But I told this person, I said, you're going to have to reorganize things and pull out things that you can use. And she's like, well, I have everything. I have everything of everything. So I have 6,000 different types of this, and I have 6,000 different types of that. I said, well, then just pull out one type. Just one type and use it, and maybe every month switch it out. So if you're using Deco Arts paints, use some craft paints 1 month, and then maybe use Jane Davenport's craft paints the next month. Do you know what I mean? Like, keep the things out near you that you can fit, obviously, and there shouldn't be a problem. Even if you have the smallest craft area, if you just had a little corner in a room, you should be able to have 20 different colors of paints, a few metallics, some glitter or stickles, some glue, some scissors, a heat gun, glue gun, a couple of sprays. You know what I mean? Like a few of each. You don't need to have your whole arsenal like at your fingertips if you have that much stuff and you don't have the room for it. But you can't just, you know what I mean? You can't not create because of that reason, because you just can't get to everything. You've got to reprioritize for sure. Otherwise, what's the point? You might as well not have the craft stuff. Like, you might as well just get rid of it. Like, you might as well just get rid of it or throw it away. I mean, if you're not going to use it and you're not going to find a compromise with yourself, first of all, if you have that much stuff and you don't have the room for it, you might want to look into destashing and saying, you know what? I don't need all this stuff. You know what I mean? I bought too much. I don't have the room for it. Just don't. But if you don't have the room for it, or if you do have the room for it, but it's just that you're unorganized, then maybe it's time. 2018, man, let's get organized. Let's get organized so that we can create and, get to using the things that you purchased and paid money for and wanted so badly. Let's get using that stuff, okay? It doesn't take long to accumulate stuff if you're buying stuff every day or every other day or every week. Most of my stuff came from the creative reuse, or for a period of like 2 years, I guess, when my business was doing really good, I gave myself a budget of like $150 a month to spend on craft supplies. And that's where like a lot of stuff came in that 2-year period. And then I got sick and then I lost my job. And then before that, I would budget myself probably about $25 a month. But over a period of like 25 years, that's where all this crap came from. You know what I mean? Like, some of these paints in this cart are, in this cart right here, some of these paints are literally 15 years old. And I still have them. Like, I could pull one of them out for you right here. You can tell by the bottle. Delta Ceramcoat does not have this kind of bottle anymore. And if I could find a date on it, I bet you it would say like 1994. Because that's when I got those paints. And I still have them. And as long as they still work, which they do, I still use it. But, I mean, a lot of them only have about that much left in it. But whatever. I've had certain things in this room for a very long time. Because I have a tendency to just hoard it and keep it. But, you know, you'll build up stuff as you go, but just don't get to the point where you're spending more than you're creating. You know what I mean? Don't let the spending become the hobby. You know, don't let the spending become the hobby. Make sure that crafting and creating is the hobby, and buying stuff as you need it is a secondary thing. But I think so many people are they're turning the hobby of creating into the hobby of spending, and they're not doing any creating because they're buying too much crap online, and then just to say, look what I have, look what I have, look what I got. And they're not using it. You know what I mean? And you got to use your stuff. You know, I mean, I understand that when you have, like, I have a ton of stuff in here, but obviously I can't use it all in a day. It takes time, and sometimes it might take me a year to use something, but I use pretty much everything in here. There's very few things that I hoard and don't really use very much, but I will use anything in here. And like, if people come over, they can use whatever they want. And I don't have any kind of, like, you know, I utilize my stuff. I may not be able to utilize it every second of every day, but I utilize it. And, you know, I've been also very thankful and very appreciative that people have sent me stuff in Happy Mail. So I get a lot of stuff in Happy Mail, and, you know, people send me stuff, and I really appreciate it. It's given me, you know, I don't expect anybody to send me stuff. I don't want anybody to send me stuff because I'd rather they kept it and created with it. But when they do send me stuff, I really appreciate it and I love it. And, you know, it gives me a new, like, oh, like, you know, there's ideas and stuff I can create with it now that, you know, but not everybody has Happy Mail given to them. Well, you know, if you're in my group, hopefully you're getting some Happy Mail once in a while, especially if you're active. You have to be active in the group to get Happy Mail. You're not going to get Happy Mail if you just come sign up in the group and then never ever say a word. Unfortunately, I don't think anybody's going to send you Happy Mail that way. And, but anyway, my point is, use your stuff. It's 2018. Let's get off the spending train and let's get on the creating train. You know, let's switch gears a little bit and let's start really using our stuff, and let's stop putting so much effort into making sure you have every little thing that everybody else has, and start showing the artwork that you're using, that you're making, instead of the stuff that you're buying. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see it. I want to see creativity. I want to see what you're making. That's more important than the stuff you're buying. I mean, of course, everybody's got to buy stuff here and there, but if you're spending and buying more than you're creating, then we need to switch that around, and we need to make it so that you're spending less but creating more, because I feel like that'll make you feel much more fulfilled at the end of the day than, oh, I got more packages and more packages. Because all that's going to do is make you go bankrupt, for crying out loud, and cause you to be in debt and then have to sell your craft stuff because you couldn't afford it. I mean, like, that can end up being a vicious cycle. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video of my craft room. I'm going to let you go. Yeah, I like it in here. I feel much more relaxed and able to create than I did in the other room. The other room I was in was way too cluttered, and it was way too open to you-know-who having a rampage through the house, which luckily the past couple of weeks he must be back on his meds. I don't know. But the nice thing is I can shut my door and lock the door in here, and I can't really hear what's going on in the rest of the house, which is nice. And I feel like I have a little bit more privacy, which is nice. And of course, more room, which is fabulous. So I'm going to go, and you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what your favorite thing is. Let me know if any of what I have organized inspired you in any way to organize your room. And yeah, so I will talk to you guys later. Make sure you do what you love and love what you do and be nice to people. And say goodbye to Tigger. Bye, Tigger. Have a good day, everybody. Bye.